Yeah, let's go. Ibu Haq, love, truth, salam, peace, huluthon, freedom, adil, and justice. Amin Talib, check me out, listen. Yo. Let the spirits guide me safely to my destination. Using respiration deep into my meditation. In times of desperation, I am using evocation. I said Lord and Master, creating the world that's ever changing. All the races created to force the separation. Discrimination, the basis is made on pigmentation. There's education for everyone in the population. Like my occupation, liberation of every nation. My obligations to stop and topple the operation of obliteration and subjugation of melanation. The sensation of putting truth in the syndication gives me inspiration. Motivation is vindication. Vocab is superb, emphatical. Enslaved mentally, thinking is unilateral. Resistant to the actual, brains are on a sabbatical. Third eye open, spirit traveling astral.
I know what I know, whatever. It's like, yo, how crazy does that sound? Because this is our land. We've been here. That's right. We've been here for 1,000 years, going back to BC time. If anybody needs to go, even in it's going to be them. Because even in oral statements, I can't remember the number on top, but the prophet said that the Europeans, he got to help tread water. He's about 5,000 miles away from home. So that's why, so now, because we know the school system, how it programs our children to believe in their system, but you know, our job is to teach the truth. Like his brother, I appreciate it, he brought his son here, whatever, because that's how it starts. We start off young, we teach them about the truth. Yeah. Islam. Oh, pardon, I just might check, sorry. But in recent years, like I said, I was going into how we came over here. We don't know exactly when the first time we came over here, but they can reach for the reason. But last couple of years, like I said, we came over here in waves. Even like Northern England, they talking about the Celtics, the Druids, and all that. But we did the knowledge on that, and we studied, and we find out the truth is like those they intermix with the Celtics. With the Celtics, and those are the Iberian Peninsulas, which you know was Phoenicians, aka really Canaanites. And of course, now they brought their culture over here, and even in past demonstrations, I've done demonstrations like even in books, it was written that the so-called Native Americans, a lot of their culture, it lines right up with those in the Bible. So it's like, how did they get this? Because now we know that the Canaanites been here. Sure. We also found archaeological proof of the Canaanites being here. People from Egypt, Liberian script, that's from northern Liberia. And when you go to Niles, whatever, that go back to like Phut in the Bible. Phoenician script. And of course, even over here, they find figurines where in the potteries that people was wearing like a conical hat. And of course, they could trace that back to the Phoenicians. They call it a hennin, or henneman. And this is a hat that we wear on formal occasions, similar to our fez today. And of course, it goes back to ancient times. So now, of course, I was just building off of archaeological proof. Now we're gonna go back, jump a little back in time or whatever, because of course, you know, I know we all heard about the Olmec, so we're gonna demonstrate on that a little bit more. And again, of course, we're gonna bring it in. Again, just more proof showing that how we've been here, going back to almost 1,000 BC, even prior to 1,000 BC, we've been in the Americas. And that's why those of you know, understand the Morris Holy Quran, chapter 45, the divine origin of the Asiatic nation. Slow. I was building off of that last week, and we still gonna build off of that because the prophet put it in there, and now it all makes so much sense once you understand what he brought us.
Morris Holy Quran, chapter 45, the divine origin of the Asiatic nations. The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate, and to know of their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching and instructing all Moorish Americans, etc. The key of civilization was and is in the hands of the Asiatic nations.
Islam, right there. It said the key to civilization is in our hands. But if we let the European teach us our history, whatever, they taking it out of our hands. They taking the keys to us getting back to where we're supposed to be. They're taking it away from us. That's why we got to teach the youth. We got to teach our other people. We got to uplift fallen humanity. The key is in us. Islam, go ahead.
The Moorish, who were the ancient Moabites and the founders of the holy city of Mecca. The Egyptians, who were the Hamites, and of a direct descendant of Mizraim. The Arabians, the seed of Hagar, Japanese and Chinese. The Hindus of India, the descendants of the ancient Canaanites, Hittites and Moabites from the land of Canaan.
This quote me. Now right there he said, mentioned the Hindus, he mentioned Japan, he said they descended of Canaanites. Canaanite, not only did they came over here, of course they went to the east. India and all that, because we sailed the world. We're the original king of the seas, Islam.
The Asiatic nations and countries in North, South, and Central America. The Moorish Americans and Mexicans in North America. Brazilians, Argentinians, and Chileans in South America. Colombians, Nicaraguans, and the natives of San Salvador and Central America, etc. All of these are Muslims. The Turks are the true...
Good with that. Appreciate it. Yeah. I just want to keep it over here. So right there in chapter 45, divine origin of the Asiatic nation, how we talk about pretty much this is our nation. The key to civilization is on us. And of course, like I said, I went into some things, but now we're going to build in a little bit more. Now we're going to go back into the mound builders, because we don't went into the found pottery, all types of architecture, in caves, writings, showing that we've been here. So now we're going to go back to the mound builders. Of course, we know some of it started with the Olmecs, but let's go into it. The mounds in Americas are different ages, which suggest the African which inhabited many of these mounds dwellings came at different times to the Americas. In fact, no. Many of these mounds were built between 200 BC and 1500 BC. That's many of the mounds. Because once they did their little common date, they figured out the date, whatever. That's not all of them. Like I said, some of these mounds, like I said, they go back to like 1000 BC. Some of the architecture, archaeological proof from New England all the way out to almost to the west. They say this stuff lines up to like almost 1000 BC. Altogether, mounds can be found from Brazil, which we mentioned in chapter 45, to northeastern parts of the United States, which of course we consider North America. The mounds built in Mexico, stone pyramids area surrounding the Gulf of Mexico and along the Mississippi River are also identical. So now, if you picture in your mind or whatever, you get a map of Mexico, because the map, how it kind of dips down, which you know is the Gulf of Mexico, all throughout there, all through like Florida, Texas, all them areas that touches the Gulf of Mexico, all these pyramids are identical. That right there is showing that how we started, well, how the Olmecs, how they started in Mexico, how the culture spread. Because like I said, I always remember in school how they always talk about the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Incas, but where did these people come from? They just popped up out of nowhere? They leave out that key, the key, which is right now, we're gonna say is the Olmecs. Because without that key, if you don't understand the Olmecs, you're just gonna believe, like, okay, Mayans just popped out of nowhere, this is advanced civilization. But you know, that's not the truth, because we can't rely on those who oppress us to teach us how to stop being oppressed.
That's right, Mo.
Now with these pyramids, with them being identical, they are rectangular in shape and possible link between various African colonies which appeared in Mexico during the last 3,000 years, and the mound builders of the United States. Now right there, like I said, some of them was from 200 to 1500, but right there they saying, obviously 3,000 years we've been going back, we've been over here. In the north, mounds tended to be low and often made in the form of gigantic effigies of birds, reptiles, beasts, and men, while in the Midwestern part of the United States, the mounds were conical and geometrical. In the South, the mounds were made in the same as the Mexican style truncated, aka cut short. Like this, there was a flat plateau up top. But now we're gonna back up a little bit. Because now right here, how it said in the North, how they use giant effigies. And of course, these are the symbols of birds, reptiles, beasts, and men. Flashback to, I can't remember the name of the show. What's that? Ancient Aliens or something like that? What's called Ancient Aliens. I watched like maybe 2 of the episodes. Luckily, the first one, they was talking about the Mayan pyramids and all this and that stuff. Of course, you know, they try to say it was all aliens that came down and did this stuff. And I was like, I watched that one and another one. But now the thing is how they try to say it's aliens. Now, archaeological proof is like, no, it wasn't aliens. We was over here and we was doing this stuff. We was putting this stuff together. So it ain't nobody from outer space or nothing like that.
We are the jure, that government is de facto. Stick to common law, the law that governs the natural. The circle 7 is ancient Moabite chosen lessons. Learn is my obsession, my spirit is the eternal essence. Knowledge presence can help you understand earth and heaven. Stars, moon, the planets in universal measure. Living forever, Allah in the flesh, I'm a nature. Aboriginal, protecting home like a catcher. The lack of values is denigrating society. The irony is we live the opposite of propriety. No, but you gave the format and got it all back. Not in all black, and no longer are we the doormats. Rappers out here, they got a mental deficit. I got a mental surplus, a metaphysic definite. Setting precedents, these aren't just flows, they're testaments. I represent, it's evident in my lyrical measurement. Morris scientist, freedom fighter, fighting the Zionist. Science of the number 9, liberating the lioness.